year, new month, new TBR. So I thought I'd make a fun little video about everything I'm going to read this month. So we have like a mishmash of genres. It's a bit of a mixed bag. The first one, the copy, it's my mum's copy, so it's all the way downstairs, and I can be bothered to go and get it. So, it's the picture of Dorian Gray. Basically, I am doing English literature for A-level, and that's the book we're doing, so I've already, read it, but, it's like the 9th of January when I'm filming this, so what's she gonna do? But yeah, no, I finished that. That's the first book on my January TBR. The other two classics I'm gonna hopefully read are this book, 10 Days a Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. He also wrote The Great Gatsby. This book is, I'll just read you the blurb. The French Riviera in the 1920s is discovered by Dick and Nicole Diver, who turn it into the playground of the rich and glamorous. Among their circle is Rosemary Hoyt, the beautiful starlet who falls in love with Dick and is enraptured by Nicole. Unaware of the corruption and dark secrets that haunt their marriage, when Dick becomes entangled with Rosemary, he fractures the delicate structure of his relationship with Nicole, and the lust of their life together begins to tarnish. Tender as the Night is an exquisite novel that reflects not only Fitzgerald's own personal tragedy, but also the shattered idealism of the society in which he lived. You can see there's a bookmark in there because it's literally the next thing I'm going to read, but it's on the first page. So, I read The Great Gatsby last year. I'm losing track. I read too much. And I loved it so much. I thought it was a really good book, and I bought this in a charity shop, and I thought it'd be really nice. And this one's really interested me because it's actually based on a relationship with his wife, so I thought that would be super interesting to read. And obviously it's a modern classic, and not the classics I tend to read. Obviously them here are much more Victorian, pre-Victorian. They're very old, they're much older, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but they are harder to read, and as you can see, some of them are very podgy and they take a long time. So I thought I would read something a bit lighter, so I went for this one. The other classic I want to do is, well, I finished this today, so I'm kind of cheating, but it's January, so it's fine. Is White Nights by Dostoevsky. I'm working on the pronunciation. One of my goals for the year is to read Punishment, this one. But obviously I have never read any of his books before, and they're very philosophical, so I was thinking that reading something a little bit this would be a good introduction to him. Because it's a little black classic. It's very small. And I finished it. So yeah, I finished it in a car on the way to college today. It's got 2 short stories in it. So the first one, which takes up most of the book, is called White Nights. The other one is, I'm going to try and pronounce this, but it's Russian, so, I'll try my best. Is Bobok. If you want to read this, the stories in it, they're so good, but they're very tonally different. Bobok is very much a comedy, whereas White Nights is not. So White Nights is the story of this guy, and he's all alone in the world, and he kind of meets this girl, and then he meets her on 3 different nights, and kind of falls in love with her and everything, and it all gets a bit complicated. But Bobok is different stories about this guy who basically goes to a funeral. He has writer's block, which is very relatable because I currently am suffering with that. Any ideas how to help me that don't involve smoking weed, let me know. Because that's the biggest recommendation I can find on YouTube, and I'm not doing that. Don't do drugs. And the other one, yeah, it's about this guy. He's suffering from writer's block. He goes to a funeral of someone he doesn't like, lies on a grave, and listens to the conversations of all these dead people underneath, and it's basically just a short story thrown in the conversation. And he's like, oh, I'm going to write this, and publishers won't reject me. Whether he wrote that kind of as a joke, or to get over writer's block himself, or because everyone was rejecting him, I don't know, but yeah, it's a really good little book. That's it. It's 112 pages, so it doesn't take that long. So I'm aiming to read a biography this month. I've been getting way more into biographies recently to read. So the one I've decided to read is this. It's the biography. Again, it's also secondhand. A lot of these are. Well, most of my books are actually, to be fair. Is this one of Cleopatra. I'm really super fascinated by women in history, that especially ones that have a really bad reputation, because a lot of the time, if you actually like look at the stories, like they shouldn't have the continued reputation that they do, because they were just doing like, I mean, obviously she is a poisoner, and I'm not supporting murder, but I'm saying in general. And yeah, I don't know much about ancient Egyptians because I changed primary school. I never did it. I did the Tudors twice, which was my geek subject anyway, so it was really stupid. But I thought this would be a really fun way to learn more about ancient Egypt and about a really cool historical woman. So also the cover is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And then it's like this, but it's this kind of annoys me. But like the actual cover is really nice. But yeah, it should be fun. And then I'm just going to lift them all up at once, so bear with me here. The other ones, I don't have the 7th one. I need to go and... I'm just going to ignore that. Source that from somewhere. By the way, the bang was just my paint box, so it's all good, but it's just the plastic because it's broken. Is these the Joyous Percy Jackson series? And then the wrong way around. Excuse this. Okay, so these lovely books. I've read the first one. Reading the second one, you can't really see the bookmark, it's like slipped down. But I say I don't have the 7th one, I need to find that. The reason, by the way, they look different is in the UK we have this shop called The Works. If you live in the UK, go there because they usually do book sets for a lot cheaper than they would be normally. But sometimes they really don't do the whole set, they do like part of it, which is what happened to these 5 for like a set. But it only goes up to 5, and there's actually 7 in the series, and I found the 6th one in a charity shop. So I need to do some more skulking and find the rest of them. But basically, they're like a fantasy series for teenagers, I would guess you would say. And they're about this boy named Percy Jackson who finds out that he is actually a demigod. And he goes to this camp, like Camp Half-Blood they call it, basically, where they train demigods. And he meets some friends, and then he goes on a quest, because it turns out that his dad, Poseidon, has kind of had a massive fight is having a massive fight with Zeus, and it all gets very complicated. But yeah, they're really, really good. Obviously I'm 16, so I'm not exactly the target, sadly. I feel so old, the target audience for this anymore. But they're brilliant. I love them. I love this one. So I decided randomly to read White Knights because I'm like, oh, it will only take me like an hour. And then I realised I actually read it slower than these because I do this weird thing where I like time how long it takes me to read pages so I can like estimate. But yeah, I'm currently literally about to start, probably after I finish filming this, start this one. Yeah, I love them. Go read them. The final thing I am planning to read this month, because let's face it, there's like 7 of those plus like a bunch of other stuff, and the month isn't that long, is an Agatha Christie. All of my Agatha Christie's are currently here. No, I don't actually have all of them yet. I do have one in French, but that's back there, I think. I should know, I've just reorganised my bookshelf and I can't remember if I put anything. But yeah, I'll probably read either The 5 Little Pigs or Why Didn't They Ask Evans? But I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I want to read, like, I do this thing where I read an Agatha Christie every month, because obviously there's quite a lot of them, to try and, read through them all. But yeah, I haven't decided which one I'm going to read yet, so I might read The Caribbean Mystery as well. But yeah, Agatha Christie is really great. They're really cool. They're like, in terms of plot, they're great crime novels. I wouldn't say she's necessarily the best writer in the world. Like, they're not the best written books. They could be written better, in my personal view. Her writing isn't brilliant, but her actual, like, the actual plots are fabulous, and you win some, you lose some. But yeah, those are all the things I intend to read this month. I'm gonna try and post more on this channel because I literally never do. It's not very helpful because I kind of want a job. And I don't want to have to become a teacher. So, yeah, obviously this is a bit new bookish content, but as you may be able to tell, I am a big reader. So, yeah, aims, have good goals, people. Also, because I had to move a bunch of stuff off my floor, there's like an absolute mess just everywhere around me now. Because I've just shoved stuff sideways. So, that's always great. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!